My blood type is B, and actually my blood group is determined by my parents. So it is genetics again. Hello, today I'm going to talk about the ABO blood groups and the inheritance of them. First of all, as this video is about HKDSE, I'm not going to talk about everything about the blood groups. So there are some famous systems like the reset system, or sometimes we call it the RX system, will not be mentioned in this video because I want to focus on the ABO blood groups, which will be in our HKDSE syllabus. So what are the ABO blood groups then? It's actually related to the surface antigen, okay? On the cell membranes of the red cells. So in the ABO blood group system, these antigens are actually the glycoprotein located on the cell membrane. If you are of blood type A, so the surface antigen will be antigen A on the surface. So if you are of blood type B, so the surface antigen will be B on the membrane of the red cells. There's no antigen C on the surface. So, but then if you're of blood type AB, so there will be both the A antigen and B antigens on the surface of red cell. In other words, if you are of blood type O, you don't have any surface antigen of ABO blood group system. You don't have any surface antigen like antigen A and antigen B on the surface of your red cells. And actually, when we are young, our immune system produces something called the antibodies. So these antibodies will be acting against the foreign antigen. So in other words, if your blood type is of, like me, is a blood type B, so you will have the antibodies acting against antigen A, okay, which does not belong to you. Okay, so your antibodies, this is the shape of the antibodies, and you'll have antibody A, sometimes we just call it anti-A as your antibodies on inside your blood. Okay, so now let's look at the summary table here. Okay, so we just mentioned about my blood type B. So we'll have anti-A in our blood plasma, and on the surface of this red cell will be B antigen. Okay, so that's how defined me as have blood type B. So similar to that of blood type A, okay, that is actually very similar. Okay, so just the opposite. Of course, if you are of blood type AB, okay, as you have both antigens A and antigen B's on your body, on your red cells, so you shouldn't have any antibodies in your blood. Otherwise, your red cell will be attacked by yourself. Okay, so by your own self, by yourself antibodies. So that is will be risky. Okay, so but then if you are blood type O, okay, so you have no antigens on the surface of red cell. So in your blood, there will be both anti-A and anti-B on it. Okay, so it will act against other antigens because it won't harm you because you don't have any antigens on the surface of red cells. But then the problem comes with someone donate blood to you. Imagine you are of blood type O and someone like me donate the blood to you. So I donate mainly. The purpose of donating blood is to give you the red cell. So I give my red cell to you, which has blood type O. So what will happen is your anti-B will attack it, or will act against it. So what actually is doing is to agglutinate it. Agglutinate means joining them together, okay, which may clot your blood or clot the red cell, join them together. So it's very risky for you, okay, so which is not desirable. Okay, so this process is actually called AGG, LUTINATIO, and agglutination. Okay, so so the donor's red cell, which is this person, will be clumped together in your blood, so risky for you. So now let's talk about how blood groups are inherited from our parents. Okay, remember we have two sets of chromosomes, by the way, and these two sets of chromosomes are called the homologous chromosome, right? So these are the homologous chromosome, and each individual of the homologous chromosome carry an allele of the blood type. For example, allele A, so it is one of the allele of the gene which is in the ABO blood group system. Okay, so this is just an example of the alleles. So there are actually 3 alleles in total in the ABO blood group system: allele A, allele B, and allele O. So there are 3 alleles in the ABO blood group system. So for a gene with more than 2 alleles, we will say this gene has multiple alleles. So the ABO blood group is the only example in the HKDSE syllabus of multiple alleles. So you don't need to remember other genes also have multiple alleles. So you only need to know this example, which is the ABO blood group system with multiple alleles in this gene. But of course, there are actually much more genes which have the multiple alleles. Okay, so now, if a person's genotype is of AA or AO, so this person, the blood type will be what? The blood type will be A. Okay, so blood type A, easy to understand. In other words, if a person have a BB or BO as its genotype, so this person, the blood type will be blood type B. Okay, so easy to understand. Of course, if the genotype is AB, so this person's the blood type will be AB. Okay, so OO, this F genotype, so the blood type will be O. Okay, so just to make sure we have a common ground to understand how the genotypes affect its phenotype. So you may wonder, like in this case, okay, in this case, so both allele A and allele B, are present, okay? So which one is dominant, which one is recessive, we don't know. They do not have one being dominant or recessive when they are together. So this is what we call the codominance, okay, codominance. But codominance is something that is not important at all in HKDSE. So just ignore this word codominance. So, but then in genetics we call them codominance. Okay. Okay, so in the case of ABO blood group system, the symbol for the allele are not really just using the letter A or letter B or letter O. A allele is actually when we draw the genetic diagram, we would write it as I, capital letter I, and then capital letter A. Okay, for B allele, so it will be capital letter I, and on the top right corner again, it will be capital letter B. Okay, for O allele, so we call it small letter I, because in compared to A and B, it is recessive. Okay, when B, O is together, for example, O cannot show up its phenotype. So we say B is dominant, O is recessive. In other words, O is recessive to both allele A and allele B. Okay. So now let's practice how to draw a simple genetic diagram. Okay, how to draw a basic genetic diagram of the inheritance of the ABO blood groups. For example, a person with blood type AB cross with a person with blood type O. A person with blood type AB cross a person with blood type O. Okay, so in genetics, okay, so we need to draw the genetic diagram. Okay, so and let's try to draw this. Okay, so first we have the parents. Okay, parents, as the first person will have blood type AB, so his allele must be this. Okay, and for the next person with blood type O, so his genotype must be small letter I and small letter I. Okay, so that will be very simple. Okay, and then what gametes can they make? Okay, so for the first person with blood type AB, so 2 type of gametes can be made. Okay, so some gamete carry the A allele, some gamete carry the B allele. Okay, so for the second person, the only gamete that it can make is the small letter I. Okay, so the recessive one, the O allele. So for the offspring, okay, so let's draw them. Okay, so that will be a allele and an O allele, and another chance will be a B allele and the O allele. Okay, so half of them will be having this and half of them will be having this. In other words, so what will be the phenotype of this person? Okay, if the offspring is IA small I, so the phenotype will be blood type A. Okay, so for the second one, the blood type will be B. Okay, so in other words, the ratio will be 1:1 ratio in phenotypes. Okay, so half of the offspring will be of blood type A and the other half will be of blood type B. Using this genetic diagram, actually we can find out that if a person with blood type AB cross with a person with blood type O, half of the offspring will be of blood type A, as I said, and half of them will be of blood type B. And most importantly, blood type AB and blood type O are not possible. They are impossible. So now please practice yourself. My blood type is blood type B. My wife's blood type is AB. Okay. So in this case, is it possible to have my son to have blood type A? Okay, so is it possible for my son to be of blood type A? So think about it yourself and let me know your answers. Okay, now bye class.